Hey guys, this is Mark Beauclair and I'll be doing a devotional for today. We'll be going over Mark chapter 2, verse 1 through 4. Let's talk about the ending of chapter 1, which will give us some context to go into chapter 2. We see that Jesus' fame has spread because he had just healed a leper, and the leper went and told everybody. So now people were coming to Jesus and they were wanting to see the miracles, they were wanting to hear him speak. So Jesus couldn't go anywhere in the city without people coming to him. So he decided to leave the city and go into the wilderness. And even there, they still came to him. But he stayed there for a couple of days. And that brings us to where he is now, coming back to Capernaum. And someone sees him and they start telling everybody. So let's get into chapter 2. And again, he entered Capernaum after some days. And it was heard that he was in the house. Immediately, many gathered together so that there was no longer any room to receive them, not even the door. And he preached a word to them. Then they came to him, bringing a paralytic who was carried by 4 men. And when they could not come near him because of the crowd, they uncovered the roof where he was. So when they had broken through, they let down the bed on which the paralytic was lying. We see that multiple people came to Jesus because they were wanting to see the miracles. They were wanting to hear his teaching, to see what all of the hoopla was about. And Jesus gives us a key gem in verse 2, which is that he preached a word to them. Jesus wasn't always he didn't come to primarily be a miracle worker. He came to preach and teach the word to them because he knew that had more value than temporary healing or any of that could. He was worried about their salvation and their eternity instead of just healing them for the temporary. We see in the next section in verse 3, 5 new characters. We see 4 men carrying a paralytic. And the paralytic, it was a hopeless condition. He had to depend on everybody to do everything for him. He couldn't do it for himself. They had to carry him there. They had to bring him different stuff. And they brought him in because they knew they wanted to get him healed. But they encountered a issue. They had a problem, some resistance, which was that the house was full of people. They couldn't get in. They couldn't get into the door. So did they stop and say, well, you know what? It is what it is. I just can't get in. Oh, well, better luck with that tomorrow. No, these people were determined. These people said, I got to get creative. If I can't get you through the door, then I'm going to get you through the roof. Where there's a will, there's a way. And we see it says that they talked about the roof. The roofs were different from what we have now. We have shingles. They had a flat roof that was made of clay that was combined with sticks and straw. So it was a different material. So they had to dig a hole to get him down to Jesus. And they were doing it. They were getting their hands dirty in all of the dirt, removing all of that to make a hole. They made it to where the rooftop was a gateway and not a barrier anymore. So they didn't think about that. They didn't care about all of the falling debris because think about this. They were still going through a meeting. Jesus was preaching this whole time, but they were like, I don't care. I know the best thing that I can do for him is to get him to Jesus, right? That means sometimes we got to do that. We got to go through the hard things with different people around us. We got to get our hands dirty in their life to bring them to Jesus. So the lesson for today is that we see these men were determined to settle for nothing less than Jesus. They knew all that I got to do is get this man to Jesus and he can transform him. That's all that I got to do. So they went the extra mile. Instead of just bringing him through the door, they said, I'm going to break down the roof. I'm going to break down that barrier that this man cannot go through, and we're going to help him get there. So that's what our vision is all about. It's just one more transformed by Jesus. Because we have experiential knowledge of Jesus. We know who he is, what he can do. And just like these men, we should stop at nothing to bring people to Jesus. Because we know he is our Savior. He's the one that can save, he can heal, he can help, he can do anything and everything in people's lives. So no matter the blood, sweat, tears, and the effort that we have to go through to bring people to Jesus, it's all worth it if just one more is transformed by Jesus. So I hope that this devotion challenges you guys. I hope that it encourages you as you go out today and do life. And I look forward to the great work that we'll see happening in the rest of the chapter as a result of these men's faith to help bring this man to Jesus. God bless you, and I pray that you have a great rest of the day.